Week 7 in the O'Hara Family and Friends football picks brought our first repeat winner. We had to go to the tiebreaker again, but in the end, Jim O'Hara wins for the second week in a row. This week he went head-to-head with Bob Stahl, each of them having 11 wins when the week was over. But Jim had the tiebreaker, and with their impressive performances this week, both Bob and Jim move up one spot into a tie for third place. They both have been slowly creeping up the overall standings. In third place, we had 4 players with 10 wins: Phil, Adrian, and Kim and Beimer, who remain in first and second place in the overall standings. Pulling up the rear for the week was Isabel, who only managed 5 wins. A couple of interesting notes when you look at the spread of the picks from week 7. First off, everyone picked the Giants and everyone picked the Steelers, and everyone ended up picking up wins in both of those games. Interestingly enough, those two teams will meet in probably what will be the biggest game of week 8. Congrats to Beimer, as he was the only non-kid who picked the Rams to upset the Cowboys. And congrats to Jim and Chuck, as they were the only ones to correctly get Baltimore over Miami correctly. As we all know, the kids really like to pick the Dolphins, but it seems in week 7, everyone was jumping on the Fins bandwagon. Only Chuck and Jim were smart enough to stay away. Jim also picked another upset in Oakland, getting the Jets correct. Tom was the only other picker to get that game correct. So, looking back at the overall standings, Kim stays on top with 68 wins, and Beimer is only one behind her with 67. And as we mentioned, Jim and Bob move up tied for third place with 65 wins. Andy falls another spot to 5th place with 63 wins, and Chuck Arnold moves up 2 spots and is right behind him in 6th place with 62 wins. The biggest drops in the overall standings were Aiden and Chad, who both fell 6 spots. Aiden ending up tied for 10th, and Chad ending up in 17th. The biggest gainers, who also scored in 2nd place, were Phil and Adrian, who moved up 5 places each. They both ended up tied for 10th. Brady remains in last place in the overall standings with 50 wins. As we look ahead into week 8, there are some good games. Atlanta at Philly should be a good game. Buffalo at Miami is a big game for Buffalo to keep its lead in the AFC East. The Chargers and the Saints will be playing in London. Both of those teams could use a win. And of course, the Giants and Steelers is probably the best matchup of the week. And finally, the Monday night game is a must-win for the Colts, and the Titans will try to remain undefeated. Enjoy the games, and good luck to everybody.